Welcome to the brand new Milwaukee Experience Center in Amsterdam. Today we have a webinar about plexiglass and printing with our industrial products. Let's have a look at the machines. So all the UV machines are printing with LED ink, and we have a wide range of products. Let's start with the UGF series. So we have the UGF 3042, the UGF 6042, and we have in our demo room 3 types of 7151, one with a LED hard ink, one with the flexible, and one with an ultra flexible ink dedicated for thermoforming. Let's have a look at Rens, what he is creating on our JFX 200. Hi Rens.
Hey Mark.
What did you print on the machine?
I'm here printing on just common plexiglass sheets, if you see, transparent. And I'm printing this marble texture. So if you look, like we all know with UV printing, it has more of like a matte appearance. But let's see if we turn it around. You see the glossiness, so the drops will more flatten out on the other side of the plexiglass, and it's really coming to life with the effect. So we have the green marble, showing you also the black marble. We're printing on this machine with LOS 120. All-round ink, semi-flexible, also ideal for laser cutting. And the last one is the white marble. So it's like real. We have a lot of more examples showing in the sample walls.
So Rens created a sample wall with diverse type of media to show what the machines can do and what the benefits are. So we can print on cardboard, we can print directly on mirror with the white ink and color, on copper media, on a normal plastic board. We can even print on wood, a clear liquid on a black material. And what can we create more, Rens?
Yeah, this is a die bond on metal with brushed steel. So with clear varnish effect, with the droplets, it's really coming to life. If it's coming to life, we also have the 2.5D texture prints. It's built up layers of ink, and you cannot feel it, but we can feel it easily, all the layers. And then we have the plain acrylic, like I show you with the marble effect. And if you leave some parts open, it's also a really nice effect. So there's a small point of possibilities where you can do with this machine.
Thank you, Rens. Very nice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So let's go back to the studio for the webinar. So welcome all to the Milwaukee Live Advanced Acrylic webinar. Yeah. So this is the Milwaukee team which will do the webinar with 2 moderators, which is myself, Mark Solman. I'm Application Manager at Milwaukee Europe, and Dana Drion, Senior Marketing Manager, also at Milwaukee Europe.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mark. There you are.
So I will walk you through the agenda. We have the welcome and introduction. Then we have a panel session with our Milwaukee partners, with guest speakers, which is from Igepa, Geko, and Chameleon Graphics from Greece. So we will introduce them later. Then after the panel session, we have the Q&A session and a closing and takeaway. This all will take maximum 1 hour, maybe a little bit longer due to the questions. So some housekeeping rules. All attendees are muted. This session will be recorded, so we can do it later. We will place it on YouTube. We will use the GoToWebinar tool, which you can ask questions in the chat button on the right side. And we will walk them through them and answer them if the webinar is finished. So we will start with the panel session with the Milwaukee partners. Let us introduce yourself. We have Arjen van Fluis from Igepa Netherlands. Arjen, could you please introduce yourself and your position? Welcome.
Yes, good morning. Arjen van der Sluis. I'm the product manager at Igepa Netherlands for machines. And well, I've been working with Milwaukee for the last 12, 13 years. And I seem to be an expert, so that's why I'm here.
Thank you. Then we have Lazar Panov. Lazar, could you please open your camera and introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody.
Yes, welcome.
Lazar Panov, I'm from Geko, like general sales manager, something like this. Working with Milwaukee since 2007 with very good results. So we have a very good partner in face of Milwaukee, very reliable. And hope that information will be good for everybody.
Thank you, Lazar. Then we have we have our partners from Greece. Maybe you can introduce yourself because it's your home country.
Yeah, so I'm very happy to introduce Yannis Rikas and Stratis Koutsoukis from Chameleon. So guys, if you can introduce yourself properly and do it as enthusiastic as always, welcome.
Hello, Diana and Mark. Thank you very much for the invitation. And I would like to also thank Milwaukee Europe for this invitation. I'm the CEO of Chameleon Graphics. Chameleon Graphics is 16 years old, and we recently started with Milwaukee, and we're really happy.
We are happy to have you guys here.
Okay, thank you. So to have some attraction inside the webinar, we have an opinion poll. So let's start with the opinion poll.
Yeah, as Mark already said, right? We want to keep the interaction really. We want to keep our lives. Also, we want to meet up with the attendees, right? So, guys, we are very interested if you guys are already using acrylic in your business. So we made this poll. So the first one is very easy. Yes, quite familiar, but not using yet, or no. And I'm actually interested, Mark, what we are getting out of this one. It's always nice to start, right? How familiar is the audience already? Normally it takes a couple of seconds, but we will wait a little bit longer. We can see the results.
Okay, just a few seconds. Let's see the response. So 61% is familiar with acrylic in the business. Buying, but not using. 21%, 80% no.
Okay, so that's a good start, guys, for us for this. Let's kick off with the first question. So yeah, I think we cannot change this question, unfortunately. So is the current situation with the pandemic having influence on demand, and are you or is there any other factor that is playing a crucial role at the moment? So Arjen, can you kick this one off?
You need to unmute yourself, Arjen.
I'm trying to keep me on the house rules. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the current situation has a very big influence for us as a supplier of acrylic and acrylic-like materials, because we used to only deliver acrylics to guys who are making paintings and printing on, for example, JFX 200 with the white on top. And now, the last year, we only sold acrylic to make spitting sheets out of them, and the whole sales was rocketing sky high. It was impossible to get some.
Okay. What about you, Yannis? What's happening in Greece? Same situation?
Unfortunately, pandemic found all of us not ready, and the demand was extremely big demand for acrylic, and to be honest, whatever was transparent, in order to create all this between the two people, the humans approach. So this is not only PMMA or acrylic as we know already, but even other kind of materials like PVC glass or PETG or whatever is transparent was honestly was sold out, and even the factories were not ready because the delivery times and the raw material was not enough to cover the demand. So the delivery times, everybody knows that came up to 2, 3, sometimes 4 months long.
Yeah, it's a clear question. Lazar, what is your opinion about the first question?
It's the same opinion. Also, very high demands in acrylics, or transparent materials. Also, the prices are getting higher and higher for these materials. So it was overall good also for our business, because many of these printing materials were printed. So we had also very high demand of inks used, and also new machines. So overall, pandemic situation, more or less, it was also good, not so bad for our business.
Thank you all. Let's go to the second question. When we talk about printing acrylic, what kind of applications are the most popular or most common? Yanis and Stratis. Let's start with Yanis.
Acrylics are one of the most popular material or media used for the sign making business, especially in illuminated sign making projects. This is one of the most popular, and we know that we have seen that in most of the projects from petroleum companies, from typical sign, small, big, it doesn't make any sense. But we see that the popular became less popular because many other projects came up with using acrylic media as the basic field.
We have some few examples which you all sent in. So these are some pins from front side and back side from Chameleon. Could you explain a little bit, Stratis?
Here is a 3mm white acrylic. It was printed in a sheet, and it was cut on a laser machine. And afterwards, they stick on the backside with some glue this small pin to use it on the here. Like this example is for a school, but the applications are many. You can use it as the name of a employee in a fast food or in a supermarket or any other in a hotel reception, whatever.
Personalized. Yeah. So keyhole on front and back side. Very interesting.
Yeah, this one is also 3mm clear acrylic. It was printed on the back side with white on top. It can be also upside print if you want to. If you add a black and then again white and color, you can see it on both sides without having the transparency.
Is this printed on the finished product, Stratis? Or do you print
it? Was first cut, then printed.
Okay, yeah.
But with some bleed, so the print is from side to side.
Okay. Then we have some electrical switch frame and decorated.
This is also,
nice.
Yeah, this is also clear acrylic. It was printed, then cut the inside. It's better if you have a print only in one side. It's better to cut from this side, because if you print and the ink is on the bottom side, the fumes of the laser affect the print usually. So it's better to have it on the upper side.
You have some examples, Ariel, from Igepa, to explain a little bit what we see here.
I think you need to mute yourself again. Unmute.
Yes, I'm trying to mute myself as much as possible because there's some echoing going at you guys as well. There is like the left side is before Corona and the right side is after Corona. So it started out with pictures on acrylic, which is about 80–90% of our business, and now we have like the splash and spitting stuff, which is on just a normal acrylic or other transparent materials. Just as Yannis said, everything which is transparent is now used. So if it's PMMA, it's polycarbonate, it's acrylic, it's whatever is transparent and can stand up, and that's what we sell at the moment.
And do you see some shift in the difference between cast and extruded, Arjan?
Yes, there is some printability issues which can be avoided if you use a cast or a PMMA. PMMA has a better printability in general, but cast can be printed with an GFX 200, and we have seen some other UV printers where we actually have pretty massive adhesion problems with the cast.
Thank you. So from Geko, we have a few examples. Lazar, could you explain what we are seeing?
And customers are printing a lot of for big casino factories actually in Bulgaria. So they're using plenty of acrylic for different applications. So we can see that machines, all big casinos also in Las Vegas or stuff like this. The acrylic normally is 10 millimeters transparent, and normally it is PMMA. What we know about this application is that customers are using all the time timer to be sure that nothing will damage the prints during the manipulation or during the creation of these machines.
Okay, thank you, Lazar. Yeah, the sound is a little bit because you are not in Romania, but you're traveling, so the sound is not so good. So then we have some texture print effects, print on outside surface and print on transparent media, also using by the white. Let's go to the third question, Dana.
Yeah, so what are the key trends that have emerged in relation to printing with acrylics recently, or what do you predict for the year ahead? So let me start with Yannis.
Yes, the trends are things that are moving from outdoor to indoor, and this comes from the huge demand or interior decoration, starting from hotels, homes, or any point of sales. That means that the PMMA that we know, the acrylics we know already for many years, which is a very nice product, comes inside now, not only outside. And this has to do with very, very big variety of finishes, like matte, satin, gloss, mirror, gold, you name it. There are so many finishes that everybody can create, and everybody can bring something that is really different and that is willing to pay extraordinary. And what I see that the outdoor comes indoor. This is my perception, let's say, about it.
Okay, thanks, Yannis. Arjan, what is your what do you see in the markets in the Benelux region?
Well, I tend to agree with Yannis that that more and more of the applications are printing on acrylic for decoration purposes indoor. And I think that also, to say the lockdown has to do with it, that people are looking in more and more into their interior and making that more likable by ordering online or at the customer site. So that's something we see as well. What we also see is that there are some shifting in the use of products, but I think we're going to that later.
Okay, thanks. And Lazar, anything to add on this from your part?
Oh, no, actually it's the same situation also here. It's especially for indoor decoration. This is the main now.
Okay, clear.
So question 4, what sectors or types of business are driving demand for acrylic applications? Yeah, let's start with the alphabet, Arjan.
What sectors of the demand for? Well, interior decorating is mostly at the moment, and at the moment the drive for acrylic is also in the safety of people, and that's where acrylic has different applications. But yeah, what are driving the business? I think most of them is interior decorating in Benelux. I don't know what the rest is doing at the moment, because, for example, slot machines are not really sold at the moment. So there are some applications in Holland as well for that. But that's since the casinos are closed, it's not possible at the moment to do the redecorating there.
Yeah, that's a clear answer. Yannis, what is your opinion?
I agree with Arjen, but also it is some other demands or pandemic brings some other small or niche markets starting to be more real markets. And what I mean is that in the past, usually we see that specific products came from specific materials. Acrylic or alternative to acrylic, like PVC glass I mentioned before, and PETG and all this transparent material, which is more stable in pricing than PMMA acrylics, are giving the same results and bring a very big variety of niche market, making jewels from PMMA or making small gifts that they give as a souvenir in the islands in the summertime, especially in Greece. We will hope to start soon with tourism again and to see that all. And so it is getting more and more not complicated, more creative, and we see a lot of niche markets come up from this.
Okay, thank you. Any information from you, Lazar?
Regarding our market, so in Romania, the casinos start to open again because we have very low rate of COVID-19 right now. So more or less everything starts to open, like restaurants, like casinos, like big shopping malls, and all these kind of businesses. They need to add new products inside. So this will be the driving demand again for the acrylic application. So everything regarding the indoor, for the shops, for the casinos and restaurants, it will come back again. And I think very, very, very strong.
Okay.
Yeah,
You guys are the first ones, right?
Yeah. Sorry? Mark?
Yes.
I would like to add something regarding the applications of acrylic. Compared to the situation, is that new protocols regarding the protection of food, either in sailing points or hotels or cafes and restaurants, have created a lot of products to cut the food, whatever it is, cookies, cakes, bread, anything. So it's a huge market. And sometimes if the customer is creative, he can add value on this product with some print on the cover of the food, either with a name or with a special plate for the price or whatever.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. Thank you. So if we go to the next question, what do we need to pay attention to when printing on acrylic? Arjan, let's start with you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you need to know what acrylic is and if you have the right product there, because you just say acrylic, but as Yannis already said, you have all kinds of transparent materials which are oftenly mistaken for acrylic, like if you use a plexiglass, which is actually a polycarbonate and not an acrylic. But in general, if you need to pay attention when printing on acrylic, you need to have an ionizer unit. It's like a must-have. If you want to print on acrylic and you try it without, your droplets are firing all at will, but not at the right position. So for drop positioning, it's like a must-have. And for most of the transparent materials, you must have an ionizer unit, and then it's pretty easy. It's just plug and play.
And if you look at, for example, quality, are most customers using a primer? If you look at Benelux?
No, but that's because we use a pre-treated acrylic in Benelux. We tend to have a more pricey product, which has a covered sheet and is prefigured for printing. We actually bought not printable acrylic in the moment that we had Corona. We needed to have the spitting screens. Then we bought also acrylic which was not printable, and then you could make it work with a primer, and that could be not the printable primer, but most of the time it will be a different primer to make it work. But we normally sell only the printable variety.
And if you look at quality of the printing, Janis, what do we need to pay attention to when printing on acrylic, or maybe Stratus because he's maybe the application guy?
First of all, I agree with Arjan regarding the static. I mean, you have to use an ionizer. Then what we have also seen that it works and the result is really nice is using a sandblasted acrylic, sandblasted in one side, in the side that you are going to print. So if it is a clear one and you print on the sandblasted side and you watch it from the other side, it's really nice. The structure does not affect the result, but you get a much bigger adhesiveness of the ink.
Yeah.
On the hand, you have, because this is the theme of the webinar, when we combine printing with laser cutting, we have to keep in mind that when you cut acrylic sheet with a laser, it affects the media itself. So when you have to use later on some kind of solvent to clean the acrylic, if it is extruded one, it is affected instantly. It cracks near the edge that it is cut with a laser. So you have to be really careful when you use laser and then some solvents, either alcohol, either other kind of cleaning media.
Okay, clear. Lazar, where do we need to pay attention for when printing on acrylic?
Yes, static electricity is very, very important to remove. So we need to use the ionizer. Also, from time to time, after we remove the protection film from the acrylic, it's good to clear the surface with something. Okay, if we will cut after that with laser, it should not be alcohol because it will be damaged. Of course, the other important thing is the environment of where the machine is installed. So we should not have dust in this place, and it's good to have controlled temperature and humidity. Many of our customers doesn't have it, and from time to time we have problems with some bending because of the electricity.
Static, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So these
Okay.
things are important, but not too many customers are paying attention on them.
So if we now go to the next question.
Yeah, so what are the key advantages of using Mimaki technology to print onto acrylics? I think that is something that the audience really wants to know. Start with you, Arjan.
Well, one of the key advantages that we have, since we are a very big supplier of acrylic and plate materials in general, we have seen that Mimaki technology, since it has the ionage on board, but also using maps to put the dots not next to each other, but to weave them into each other. And that is one of the key advantages with Mimaki, to get a print result which has a very good finish and a very good adhesiveness on the acrylic itself.
Oh, that's a very nice answer. And if you look at white printing, Arjan.
What do you say?
If you look at white printing with our products.
Yeah, it's like a very good white. I must admit that for the JFX 200, for example, with the EX, it is imperative that you have to keep speed, that you have the 4 times white option on it, because otherwise you have to go over it twice with the white to get an excellent white. Because for printing white in one run, it's not really that crisp white which you would expect. And I must admit that Mimaki was really thinking ahead there to make the 4 times white option available in the EX, and hopefully you guys will introduce that on more printers than just this one.
That's good to hear. If you look at the Greek market, Yannis, what key advantages is of using Mimaki technology?
To be extremely honest, is that since we have started with Mimaki, I have the privilege to experience more and more with Stratis all the applications, and applications that were not in our selling portfolio. And of course, to come in comparison, or to come directly back to back with the other brands, the competitors. So I saw that the white ink printing is really fantastic, and together with a clear, or the combinations of it, can give you so many good results that I couldn't even imagine that you can do that with a printer. I mean, it's comparing with Roland or with Muto, I'm totally convinced, and honestly speaking, I see so many differences regarding the quality and how the printer is really printing the materials and all these applications. And for me, it was really something to deal with the new customers and new markets.
Oh, thank you. That's really good to hear, Yannis.
Honestly,
yeah.
The truth.
What's your opinion, Lazar?
My opinion is that first of all, I agree with both, and at the same time, what my customers are telling me, that Mimaki technology is against the stupid operator. So the operator should be somehow, but the machine will help him to print nice and to maintain and stuff like this. So it's built for everybody. So you should not be a very, very good engineer or something like this to print very nice and very smooth with Mimaki, and to maintain the machine easily.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Stratis, any last words from you on this question?
Yeah, mainly key advantages of Mimaki printers is that there is a huge variety of dimensions, starting from 3042 up to 2 by 3 meters. So you can cover any kind of application, and from 5 centimeters to 15 centimeters thickness of media. So I don't think there is something that you cannot print in such variety of machines. And on the other hand, there is also a big variety of inks regarding the flexibility of the inks. So either you want to print something that is totally rigid, and you use LH100, for example, that is the most scratch-resistant ink, and the oldest one, or LUS 120, so you have something semi-flexible, up to LUS 350 for thermoforming and creating some really nice POS and POP stands or anything.
Perfect, perfect. Question 7. Do you need any specific technical knowledge to start with? does Mimaki or the partners provide the support needed for printing and acrylic business? Lazar.
Yes, actually, the specific technology knowledge you don't need. It's very easy to learn how to print with Mimaki. Actually, it takes 1 to 2 days maximum to learn the software, the raster link, and after that, with different kinds of printings, maybe after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the customer is quite good in printing with Mimaki. Actually, we have many customers starting from nothing, actually, without any knowledge in printing, and maybe 1 month, 2 months maximum, they're printing on everything almost. Okay, there are some specific things they need to know, but they learn them, or we are helping them to learn them faster. If they have some kind of problems, they call us all the time. We are answering on the phones, and all the time we are offering everything we know about the applications. If we don't know, we are checking with other customers that we know that they are printing on this specific product, and we are helping the new ones to grow. So we are offering everything, support. So this was my answer.
I'll unmute myself. Arjan from Igepa, what's your opinion?
Well, I actually totally agree with Lazar. I think as a Mimaki partner, but also as a partner for our customers, we provide as much support as needed to give them a look and feel on how the machine works, on how the application works, and how the material works in combination with the machine, how post-processing of the material works, also providing with issues like, okay, is a product applicable inside a building, or must it be outside the building with flammability and so forth. Also, if there's specific knowledge is in our company is very big, so we actually have to combine separate persons to give as much info as possible. And also for testing, we do that in our house, or for specific applications, we tend to fall back on our partner Mimaki to do the testing in the demo room. So I think that the combination of Mimaki in combination with the plate materials as a one-stop shop is a good solution to our end customers.
Perfect. Yannis.
To be honest, in our demo room, we had recently the 3042M K2. So I had the experience together with Stratis to, let's say, to play a little bit with the printer and to get more involved to different applications. Okay, it's as Lazar said, you need some time to get more familiar with the printer, but at the end, I think that is not something too complicated or something that you need to be really a specialist to do a print with it. It looks that is easy to do that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Oh, we have an opinion poll.
I think that is nice, right? So we are kind of curious if people are investing in a certain printer at the moment, if they want to invest in a printer to work on the acrylic part as well. So we will start with the poll again. I'm wondering what we get out of here, Mark. Let's see how that works. I'm curious also what the partners are thinking about it as well. Let's see and wait.
Let's give the people a few seconds more.
Yeah.
Due to the pandemic, it will be a nice question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also wondering if it reflects also what we see from the partner side in the regions, right?
Okay, can we close the poll, Mayan? Perfect, thank you. When do you expect to invest in a new printer? Within 3 months, 11%. 3 to 6 months, 11%. 20%, 6 to 12 months, and 65% will not invest in a printer in 2021. That's very interesting. Any words from you, Yannis?
To be honest, this is what I was really expecting to see, because yes, pandemic brought us in uncertainty, and of course, investment. You need to have also the psychology to invest your money and to be able to have to dream or to invest or to make a new business or whatever it is that. Unfortunately, this is not helping a lot. But to be honest, even if you see this 44 or 42% or 44% comes from people that they are willing to invest until the 12 months, that means that there is also the other point of view. So it's not totally negative, but it's not
totally negative. No.
Yes, this is what I believe.
Arjan, any comments on the poll?
Well, as Lazar already said, and I agree totally. It's like I see it as a positive thing that the half of the people are interested in looking into a printer, and I actually see that in our market in the Benelux as well. That a lot of people are not being caught up with only thinking about Corona, but also thinking about. They having the time to reflect in their company, what is the new type of business I want to start up, and people are investing to do this startup the coming period of time to get to know the machine, get to know the product, get to prepare before all Corona setbacks are gone and we can get back to the normal life. That they are ready to go and already know what the printer can do.
And willing to invest, yeah.
Yep.
Lazar, any comments from you?
Yes, of course. I also agree with Arjan. And in addition, I want to tell to everybody who don't want to invest in 2021 that it's a very big mistake, because we have very nice promotions. Such promotions they have never been before with such big discounts. So I think this is the moment. They need to invest now and to take the benefits after. So we will buy technology. High level technology at very good price, and in very few months we will start to produce again, and we will be back to the business very soon. I can see it already in my market, so people start to buy. Actually, right now I need a few UGF 55-320, and I'm fighting to obtain them, because it's a big fight because of the very good price. So this is my opinion. It's a big mistake to not invest in 2021. It's a big opportunity. We need to catch it. This is my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's very positive, right? That you see that already as well. I think that's good. I think we are moving into the Q&A session. I see already, Mark, a couple of questions coming in, right?
Yeah, we
have. So I see a lot of questions back on. What are the benefits of using acrylic over other substrates? So maybe I start with you, Stratis, on that. What are the benefits of using acrylic?
Depends on the application. So acrylic is a media that if we talk for an outside application, it is, let's say, long-lasting, not forever, but it's much better than other materials. On the other hand, it's a material that gives you the opportunity to work on it. I mean, you can cut it with laser, you can cut it with a router, you can thermoform it. It's easy to create, let's say, connection between acrylics with a special glues that are even instant glues or more soft for other kind of applications. So it's a material that gives you a lot of possibilities, and also the fact that it comes out in many different thicknesses from 1 millimeter up to 25, 30 or whatever, and in many colors, even on demand color or on demand texture surface. So it's a really flexible media.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Arjen, anything? Do you also have to comment on that question, because we see that a lot, this question?
Well, it's for acrylic. It was a price also in the Netherlands. It was more a price issue because it's cheaper than most other products. If you use a PMMA or an XT, that's cheaper than using a polycarbonate or a PETG material, for example. But we have seen pricing going up so fast that it's just about the same thing if you buy a polycarbonate or an acrylic. As Stratus pointed out, and has a very good point, is in the post-processing of the material, that it can be bent, it can be thermoformed, and so forth. It can be lasered pretty easily. That is one of a few of the advantages of the material. It has its disadvantages, for example, flammability. For indoor applications, that's not really a good idea, and you shouldn't. But you should use another material. But for the general purpose, as we now talking, it's like the EDU material.
Okay, I have a question here from Stefan from Belgium. Which Mimaki ink will you recommend to print and cut afterwards with a laser? Lazar.
I think the best thing is LH1000, or 100, sorry, LH100, and after that it's LUS 150. So these two inks are very suitable for such an application. From my point.
But this is then, if you print and cut afterwards, you will use the LOS?
LOS 150, 120 also. Actually, in our markets, the most popular is LOS 120 because of the price.
Okay.
People are using it for everything. So you can also create trophies. This one, I can show you. So it is also printed and cut it on laser, and it is printed with LOS 150.
Okay.
So 120 and all more suitable, but the flexible ones are better.
Okay. Stratus, any comments from you? Which Mimaki ink you would recommend to print and cut?
If the application needs no other post-processing like bending or thermoforming, I think LH100 is the best one. If there is also some kind of bending of the media, you have to use. I prefer LUS 120. I've seen that it's doing better with many more material than LUS 150. So I have to disagree with Lazar on this point. Sorry, Lazar.
A question that also is for the Greek market, talking about tourist industry, and I think your region is heavily involved in that, like using acrylic possibilities, especially also in the combination with personalization, etc., the smaller touristical souvenirs, etc. Can you explain a little bit what the advantage is, Yanis, to work with acrylic on that?
The advantage is that the acrylic, as I mentioned before, has so many different finishing as a product. You can find numerous of different products with extruded or not extruded, I mean cast acrylics, that you can have a small piece of acrylic sheet and making several small souvenirs with low cost and high profit. And this is almost a kind of a gift to take with you. That is usually is very popular in Greece. Somebody wants to visit the Greek islands to get a small souvenir, not to pay a lot of money or to buy a lot of different small gifts for friends, for the family, and just to remind that some years after that he has visited Greece and time there. So the low cost, many different special surfaces, and you can find, and also in the market, and also it is you can make several small gifts of one plain sheet, so it's not so cost effective, and you can give high profit in a reasonable time.
Okay, clear. We have a question from Matthew. Can an example be given of a product and its production process for flexible inks and thermoforming? It's difficult to give an example or to show something now, but Arjan, do you have any information about thermoforming and which media you would like to use then? And
well, we don't have that much customers which are actually using thermoforming as a product or post-product processing. Normally, you would use the LUS 350, which is especially made for thermoforming, and we have some customers who actually do that, but they normally print with other materials and other applications than thermoforming, which is not so extremely common here in the Netherlands.
no, you mostly use a PETG, or
Yeah, we normally use PETG or a cast acrylic, which can be thermoformed pretty easily.
Burak Sensoi, for lenticular printing, is there any recommended ink and a special printing mode? Lazar, can you answer this question?
I didn't hear very well the question.
For lenticular printing, is there any recommended ink from Mimaki?
LH100.
Yeah,
So
LH100. Yeah, it was also my question. Stratis, any comment on that for lenticular printing?
No, I agree, because the application is it's not flexible, so for sure you don't need a flexible ink. And on the other hand, I think that LH100, the clear ink of LH100 is really gloss, and it can produce nice lens for the lenticular.
I think we're having a couple of last questions. We have a lot of questions coming in, and we will answer all of those after this webinar, but we will keep time. We only have an hour, but I think what I also saw, what is the advantage of printing a picture on acrylic glass compared to traditional photo print in frame? Is the image quality comparable, or can you answer that for me, Arjan?
I don't really hear the question there.
What is the difference between traditional photo print in a frame? Is the image quality comparable if you do it on acrylic glass? Is that the same quality, or is it different? Maybe anybody else wants to answer that question?
It's comparable as far as I can tell. The only thing is that it has the luxury that it is on a plate material instead of just a photo which is framed. The frame photo is nice and fine to put up in your house, but it's the luxury effect that is on a plate material which has a certain thickness and has a high gloss, which is almost incomparable with even with a photographic paper, high glossy. It's still not the same thing, as far as I can.
It was clear. It was clear what Ren showed in the short movie, that if you print on acrylic with a high resolution, you have a really nice quality. We have some questions about pricing, which we do after the. I think this is it.
At the moment, I think to keep time as well. I think we are quickly going to a small summary and key takeaways. I think from my side, it was very interesting to see that even when we are in a pandemic situation, there's still a lot of demand, especially on acrylic, as Arjan already started this whole session. Is extremely high demand on it, but also the new markets that the partners are explaining and the endless possibilities are quite understandable from my side. I think that is my key takeaway. And I think also it's interesting to see that people are still wanted to invest in machines, even if we are in a pandemic, and even want to invest and see in new possibilities in this market. I think that's what I found out. Arjan, any last words for you, key takeaways that we need to consider and give back to the audience for today?
Well, I think the most important thing is to get, if you want to start with acrylic or with transparent material printing, let's to take it some more general. Go to your Milwaukee partner and let you get informed about not only the printer but also about the application and the materials which can be used, because we are talking mostly here about acrylic because it has the largest application, but there are alternatives as well which could lead to another product which has a more stable quality there. So let's just not try to find out yourself, but get your info.
Yeah. Any thoughts from your side, Yanis? Some summary key takeaways for the audience.
I believe that this pandemic bring us all in a way to think or rethink or to focus on different markets. This is probably the good time to start or to come to us, as Arjen says, to speak about what the new businesses would like to be with. So in any case, I believe that this is the proper time to think and to act in the future. And if they need something from the partners, please call us and we will try to bring the maximum of the results that you have imagined. We will try to do the best we can.
Lazar, any last words from your side? Some key takeaways for the audience.
Yes, my advice is to not stop to look for new technologies and to act now and to take benefits later. So it's a very good time to invest in new technologies and to look for new markets. So I recommend you to go ahead and to look and to buy now, because we have very good promotions and will help you to grow after. When everything will stop and the economy will start to recover, you will be prepared. So don't be afraid to invest.
Stratis, maybe from a knowledge perspective, anything that you could add here?
Yeah, there is always a positive side in anything. So you have to think positive. And at this point, the time maybe is not perfect, but it is really nice time to invest, as Lazar said, because great promotions are running. The customers are having more time to deal with a new machine, so to get to know the machine now that it's not so hectic in the production. So the time is with them. I mean, there is not so many jobs in the shops, so the situation is easier. It runs easier, so they will learn the machine in depth, and when the market comes up again, they will be ready to produce nice stuff.
Okay, thank you. And I think Mark, to end it up, maybe you have some last words before we close this one.
Yeah, it's good to hear that a lot of people are open for business, and that 40-45% would like to invest in a machine. That's very, very nice to hear. I also learned a lot, and hopefully, if we can travel again, look closer to the tourist shops, which is a lot of printing on acrylic.
Exactly. So I think to sum up for everybody here on the webinar, we will send some additional information. Of course, you will receive a thank you email. If you want to get in touch with us, you can always send us an email by webinar@imiamimaki.com. We also have a survey right after this webinar, and yeah, so please fill that in for us so we have that information. And I would like to thank you, the partners, for today, for this interactive session. Thank you very much for participating, and of course also the audience for attending. And I want to say have a great day, everybody, and stay safe. And stay healthy.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Stay safe.
Hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.